with that done, let's move into our new release of the week. This is going to be an interesting topic. So, Mortal Kombat. Dun, 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 ba-dam, 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 ba-dam. All right, that's all I got with that. All right, so
we're doing a lot of singing today.
We are. It's
I'm
a
not much
day.
of a singer. Maybe 28 episodes. I'm starting to come out of my cocoon.
Let your butterfly wings fly, Luke.
Butterfly wings fly. Come on, you can do better than that.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so
my falcon wings.
Your falcon wings. Yeah. You're not a beautiful butterfly. You're a haunting eagle.
Oh, fucking a Birdman.
Yeah. Man, that's a movie I haven't watched in a while. All right, Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, right.
All right, so
can we just talk about Birdman?
So, video game movies are a time-honored tradition in Hollywood, going as far back as the classically bad Super Mario Brothers from 1993.
Another blockbuster.
Movie. To even last year with the shockingly passable Sonic the Hedgehog. I know you would disagree on that. I thought it was a passable movie. And the hilariously bad Monster Hunter, directed by Paul W.S. I understand the movie sucks, but I expected it to suck, so, it was fun. And I know for me, video game movies have always been a horrible idea since Paul W.S. Anderson began his quest to ruin the Resident Evil series for a course of 10 years, or 10 plus years, really.
Now, wasn't he also behind the original Mortal Kombat movie?
He was. I was about to get to that.
Oh, I'm stepping on your line.
No, you're good. So, but yeah, one series that Hollywood has always tried to figure out is Mortal Kombat. The original Mortal Kombat movie came out in 1995. I can't believe it's the same age as me. And it was directed by none other than Paul W.S. Anderson. It came out to okay reviews, mainly being criticized for the fact that the movie was PG-13, and Mortal Kombat is a hard R-rated game, or I guess M-rated game from back in the day, which even though like the graphics are dated, it's still pretty violent when you replay that game. And but it did well enough. People saw it. It got a sequel 2 years later, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which I would definitely say is one of the worst movies ever made. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, but I've seen it pop up on many worst movies ever made.
It's awful. It's on HBO Max. Just give it a watch. Give the first couple minutes a watch.
Is the first movie on HBO Max?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay.
And you can compare all three of these movies, really. But after 24 years of that movie coming out, here we are. We have a reboot. This one is directed by Simon McQuoid. He's Australian. And produced by James Wan. He's also Australian. It features actors like...
What?
Yeah, James Wan's Australian.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's Malaysian Australian, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I watched interviews with him and I was like, interesting.
Does he have the accent?
Yeah, he does, dude.
I guess I've never seen a James Wan interview.
Well, it's also him and, oh my god, the guy who made Invisible Man and Upgrade. They're both Australian, so that's how
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's how they made up Saw.
Oh, we didn't even talk about it, but the Conjuring trailer dropped this week.
Oh, it does look good.
Yeah, okay, scratch that. Get back to Mortal Kombat.
All right.
So sorry. I'm doing everything I can to scratch away from this movie. I'm trying to not.
You're like, I do not want to talk about this movie. And so it features actors like Louis Tan, Jessica McNamee, Josh Lawson, Tanabu Asano, Makad Brooks, Ludi Lin, Shin Han, Joe Thompson, and the always great Hiroyuki Sanada. Luke, I want to know, how did you feel about this movie?
Okay, so I didn't feel about this movie. I liked the first chapter, which I cleverly titled The Iceman Cometh.
Yeah.
Literally the first 10 minutes of the movie were probably the best 10 minutes, maybe with the exception of one final fight scene at the end of the movie.
I literally have that in my notes. Those are my two favorite scenes.
Yeah, okay, movie. But I mean, it's a crap sandwich. That's one way to really put it. If we're just going to be honest, you got a good and a good at the ends, and why am I speaking visually when we're on a podcast? A good and a good. There we go. But I mean, watching Mortal Kombat 11 videos, which are crazy, right? I was my initial thoughts, I'm disappointed that I didn't get the Rambo Terminator RoboCop collaboration that I've
Freddy
been waiting
Krueger.
for. Yeah, the reunion opportunity that they dropped the ball, I think. So, I don't know, my thoughts aren't so pleasant.
Okay. I don't expect. Yes, the opening is fantastic. Like, easily, like, That I think is like the most cinematic aspect of this movie. The last scene is also fantastic as well, or the last fight scene. But I can't say I wasn't entertained throughout the course of the movie. Now, is the movie dumb? Absolutely. without a shadow of a doubt. It is a dumb as fuck movie.
Yeah.
But there were things about it. There are many things that I didn't like about the movie, but I do see there are a couple positives that I saw throughout the movie. For one, while I don't think any of the fight scenes are as good as the first and last one, I think those have like a really good sense of choreography. I think that a good chunk of the fight, like if you're expecting Mortal Kombat with like really gory graphic fights, you get them. Like they're sprinkled out throughout the movie a good amount of times. You know, like I guess for me it's kind of like a movie like Godzilla versus Kong. They really only fight twice. They're really good fights, but they really only fight twice. But in this movie, Mortal Kombat, you do get a good sense of Mortal Kombat. Everybody's like, you know, from Louis Tan fighting in a MMA fight, or you know, Kano beating the shit out of Reptile. You get that. It's in here. So for me, like, who was looking forward to that, I got it. So that satisfied me.
I agree. Like, you know, the fight scenes are substantial. There are a good amount of them. And, like, choreography wise, some of them are okay. I think some of them are a little bit
I would agree with
weaker. I think the two fights, the beginning and end, are substantially better than pretty much everything else in the movie. But, I mean, like, you were talking about this idea of the movie being dumb. Which is a good idea. It's a very good idea. Yeah. It's a strong idea. This is a very dumb movie. And, you know, with that, you get the whole, oh, why are you looking for nuance argument, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we were talking about Kong vs. Godzilla a couple weeks ago, and which is like a similar monotonous, like, slugfest movie. And I actually really enjoyed that movie. But, you know, I think there's a difference. You know, the world building, I thought, in Kong vs. Godzilla was... or I guess the world destroying is probably more applicable. I thought that was better, but also this is much more of a character driven film. This is much more of a story based film, and that is like a 3/4 disaster, I think.
Yeah.
There are like first of all, the characters are completely unavoidable. Unlike Kong vs. Godzilla, where you can just kind of zone out when there are humans on the screen.
You wait for Big Monkey to come back.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can do that. You can watch Kong Godzilla and turn your mind off during the story and like be fine, but this you can't. They're unavoidable here, and I think only a few characters really worked for me. I really liked Kano.
Yep, definitely the scene stealer.
Yeah, definitely the scene stealer. He's played by, like you said, Josh Lawson, whose background in improv comedy is apparently very.
Yeah, I was gonna say when he got cast as Kano, I was like, I don't know, because I had only seen him in a comedy show with Don Cheadle, and I was like, that, because he plays like a nerd on that show, and I was like, that guy's Kano? I don't know if that's going to work out for me. And he did a great job.
Yeah, you know, that guy, he's funny, he's loud, and he's totally outrageous. Yeah, but he also hits the movie with a lot of self-referential humor, which I think is necessary. That's kind of like the audience perspective, right. Especially the audience perspective of someone like me who doesn't have a whole lot of experience. I would definitely be asking, like, if I heard that, like, these Earth warriors, like, or if I saw for the first time that these Earth warriors with these tattoos had special powers, I'd be like, am I gonna have special powers? That would be my first question.
I love that scene in particular because he's just like, well, I'll be able to throw a fireball, and then what's his face, Liu Kang or whatever, like touches his arm, it's just like, all things will come in due time. It's just like, the fuck? Just that little the fuck is just so satisfying to me. Because I'm like, yeah, I'd react the same way. I'd be like, the hell? I don't know you.
He was very touchy in that first scene. Yeah, because he went from like one shoulder to the other. He's like, it's like one of those dances, you know, where everybody's going across. Like, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I mean, he was really funny. And I also liked the Sonya Blade story. And just to give a little context on the story, because I guess we didn't really... introduced. There's this whole tournament, right? The Mortal Kombat tournament, and from what I understand, there's Earth Realm and what is it, Outer World?
Outer World, yeah.
Outer World, and they've been going at it for, I guess, centuries, right? But when the movie starts, and this is like in the first opening card, Outer Realm or Outer World, whatever, like has won 9 times in a row, and if they win 10, they can conquer Earth. Which would be bad for us.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be great.
It would not be great. But that's where we are at the beginning of the story.
Can I just say that I can totally understand why they want to conquer Earth? Because Outer Realm or World, whatever, looks like shit. Yeah, it's nothing but like rocks.
Who wants to live there?
It's rocks and a bridge, and I'm just like, who wants to live here? Who like actively says, yeah, I'll hang out here? Like,
location.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, no wonder they want to conquer Earth. They have Starbucks there.
But the way Earth's defenders are formed are with this marking, this tattoo.
Yeah.
Or it's not a tattoo. It's
like a brand, or like a birthmark. It's the Mortal Kombat logo.
Yeah, it's the Mortal Kombat logo. Real creative, I guess. And Sonya Blade, who shows up in like the first 30 minutes of the movie, is the only character in this. She probably knows the most about it. She's like an ex-military, and she's done a whole lot of research, and she's actually been able to uncover. It's kind of like an archaeologist, been able to uncover this huge story that, I guess has followed Earth forever. And I like it because she has the knowledge and she has the passion for it, and she wants to defend Earth, but through a lot of the movie, she doesn't have that marking, which means she can't fight,
participate. People see her as like less than, like, you're not even worth killing sort of vibe.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, some people might look at it like, oh, they're not letting this woman fight. It's like, no, like, she's not a part of the competition. And you're like actively wanting her to get in on it because you're like, she's cool, and clearly, like, we see like through her fighting prowess, she knows what she's doing. She can hold her own. And you're just waiting for her to be like, come on.
So that's a good arc. And then Sub-Zero, who I guess is one of the main characters in the game, I really liked him. But damn near everybody else did not work for me.
I will say,
especially Cole.
Oh, yeah, I was going to get to that. I like Jax. I think Jax works for the most part, and I do like his overall arc. When
you don't look at him. Are we allowed to talk about what he looks like?
Well, yeah, like, because everybody knows the game, so yeah.
Everybody else knows the game.
Okay, well, yeah, he has big metal arms. That's like his big thing. And you can see in the trailer, like, he loses his arms to Sub-Zero in the fight. Okay. Yeah, it's very, like, I saw it and I was like, okay, well, there we go. Yeah.
Brutally.
In a very brutality. Cool... Absolutely. And I'll get to that shit. But yeah, no, like, he loses his arms, and he's like, his whole arc is to understand, to be able to fight, to be able to, like, live without the use of, like, or with the use of, like, these new metal arms, because he's given, like, these, like, weak pieces of shit. They almost look like tongs.
Metal chopsticks.
It looks goofy, but, like, I understand, like, the whole arc of, like, trying to, like, you're this big, bulky military dude, and then suddenly, like, the thing that you use the most is just gone, and he has to, like, basically get his confidence back, and he's still, like, in the fight, because he's still technically in the fight, and holding his own as well as he can. So I think his overall character arc was fine. I thought he was alright.
Fair enough.
And I like his relationship with Sonya as well.
Yeah, I guess I'm distracted because when I look at him, it's not good. The CGI is really...
Big head, little arms.
Yeah. Like, you think about it, look at the CGI on Kong vs. Godzilla, which just came out a couple months ago. It makes that character very distracting.
Yeah. But let's get into Cole.
Yeah, so Cole, I guess, is a new character.
He's completely new.
Which is kind of a weird thing to do for a video game.
There's movie. Like 30 plus characters in Mortal Kombat at this point, and you're like, yeah, let's
just create a new character.
Cole Young.
Cole Young, what a terrible name. And like the way the first scene is shot, or the way the story is set up, it makes it seem like he's gonna be the one who Raiden?
Yeah.
Okay, who Raiden saves in the first scene, but then
I thought that's the same thing.
So like, I love the first scene, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in the story, I guess. But anyway, he's this MMA fighter who, for like $200 a night, gets the crap beaten out of him. I actually thought he held his own for a while, and
he did pretty good.
And then his problem seems to be a lot of strong offense, weak defense. But you gotta have defense.
Yeah.
So Cole Young's played by Louis Tan, and I actually looked up the reason why they went with a new character, because it seems like really odd, especially with a game that has like a whole catalog of back characters. It seems weird to start potentially a whole new franchise with a new character.
Yeah.
But Greg Russo, the screenwriter, told the Washington Post that he didn't want to just kind of rehash a story that everyone's seen before.
Fair.
Yeah, fair, until he completely contradicts himself by not altering the backstories of any other characters.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if you're making a Batman movie with a new actor and still show Bruce's parents getting killed, like you're still telling the same like damn backstory.
It's still a Batman story, but now there's, I don't know, Clark. Not Clark. Damn, that doesn't work. Gerald.
Yeah.
Some guy named Gerald hanging out.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, a complete contradiction. That didn't make any sense to me. I mean, like, and I wish the character was just interesting.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, like, I actually liked his wife and his daughter way more than cool. I liked him. But this is not a good acting performance.
Yeah, I feel bad because Louis Tan, the only thing I've really seen him in was Iron Fist Season 1. He has one scene in one of the episodes, and it was a highlight episode, really. Like, people saw him, because everyone hated Iron Fist, but when he showed up, they're like, oh, shoot, this guy should have been Iron Fist. He's actually, like, a pretty good, like, actor, like, good character. And actually, in that movie, he's still using his British accent, and, like, he's showing off a lot of his, like, his martial arts prowess, because he's a trained martial artist. But, I don't know, like, this movie just, whenever he does an American accent to me, it nullifies him. Like, all of that, like, charisma and like coolness is gone, and he just feels like, I don't know, white bread. It just feels really plain to me. Yeah,
you can chalk it up, I guess, some of it. I think the performance itself is pretty bland and not great, but you can chalk a lot of it up to the writing, and I have a lot of problems with the writing in this movie. Starting, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit. My biggest critique, where's the tournament? This entire movie is build up, right? So the way the story works, they all, I don't know, they come together with these markings and everything, and they go out into like some desert, which Kano just happens to know about. Oh, lucky for them! Yeah. Like they found a guy who knows where this ancient temple is.
Yeah, up in there.
I've been there 100 times.
Yeah, you just make a drug run through
it. Just casually.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, right. Whatever. Okay, give them a pass on that, right? Yeah. But the whole movie is not about the tournament that they're talking about. It is about the bad guys who have the cheat, trying to
wipe out the competition before the tournament even starts.
Right. Yeah. So all the fights happen before the tournament even happens.
It's technically not Mortal Kombat. It's pre-combat.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know. That didn't make any sense. And it kind of feels like, what's the point of even having the tournament storyline at all? Because that's the basis of everything. That's what gets them all together. That's how it gets them to where they need to go. And there's no payoff. I mean, like, and yeah, you can say, oh, the fights are there. That's payoff. But it's like, okay, so the tournament that was going to potentially be the end of the world doesn't even happen.
Show up,
so you establish these stakes and then don't even get to the final fight.
It's like talking about the movie Geostorm, which my favorite thing is that the Geostorm never shows up in that movie. It's just all Billy. They're like, if a Geostorm happens, it's going to be the end of the world. And we never see the Geostorm. The moment it's about to happen, they fix it.
The budget ran out.
Basically. Guys, we're hemorrhaging this budget. We need to stop. Cut the movie off. But yeah, no, I agree. Now, to me, it didn't bother me that much because I'm like, okay, this movie's obviously setting up for a sequel. We don't even have like one of the biggest characters in the franchise yet, which they hint at towards the end of the movie. And for me, it's like, okay, I guess I did go in thinking we were getting Mortal Kombat, like a tournament arc, all that. And that is disappointing that we didn't see it, but it didn't kill the movie for me. It is very goofy, though. It's a very goofy idea, but all right.
So dumb. I hate this idea of writing for sequels.
Yeah, I agree.
Sequels need to happen. They need to be their own story. But in order for a movie to work, there needs to be a complete story.
Fair.
When that's not what this is. Why name a movie after this mythological tournament to only have the tournament in the next movie? That makes no sense. Yeah. Well,
at that point,
it makes sense in like business world.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess at that point,
it's going to make
just
the movie garbage.
It like Mortal Kombat: The Beginning or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, like something else. But like calling it just straight Mortal Kombat, it's like, yeah, but like where's the? I don't know. Maybe the writers are thinking like Mortal Kombat's about the characters, not the tournament itself.
And like, there's so many cop-outs in this writing, too. Apparently, like, we get a lot of rules about this tournament. We learn a lot about this tournament that we never see. Yeah. For instance, the fact that there's supposed to be gods moderating and officiating these rules, and I love it because the bad guy I don't know his name. I don't know.
Shang Tzu, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
Whatever. Just whatever. He's like, oh, the gods are too lazy to moderate this. And I'm just like, okay, I've been really thinking about our place in the universe recently. I read an article about UFOs, that the government casually finally acknowledging the existence of UFOs. A great way to offset 2020 and 2021. Aliens!
Bruh, give it to me. Please, I'm ready for that. You were saying.
No, you're not. But, when you're thinking about your place in the world, and it's like, oh, look, Earthrealm could be destroyed if Outer World beats us again, and they don't even care to check the rules. Okay, I guess we really don't matter. But I mean, it's just like, why even have that if it's not going to make a difference? Why make a hurdle if you're going to just crawl under it? It makes no sense to me. I was not a fan of this movie.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, I really was not.
I mean, a few other positives for me. I thought the music was good. It's Ben Walsh-Fish again. He's the same guy who did 2049 and The Invisible Man. It's so funny how every time it's always like a distinct that I hear in the background, and I'm like, is that Wallfish? Is that my boy Wallfish? Plus, it makes sense. I mean,
he's like the hover car sound.
Yeah, basically, 100%. Yeah, but it makes sense. He worked on 2049, or he worked on The Invisible Man. Leigh Whannell works closely with James Wan, so it makes sense that they will use the same composer. I thought the character designs were cool. I think Sub-Zero and Scorpion look awesome in this movie. I think Cole's, eventual outfit sucks. It's goofy to look at. I think the design of Goro, who normally has been done in like a puppet form.
Is that forearm?
Yeah, forearm dude. I thought he was great. Reminded me a lot of the Hulk look-wise, but it worked well. I feel like the choreography could have been bloodier.
Really?
Yeah. So the fatalities in this movie are great. They especially one with oh my god, I'm blanking on his name, but like sombrero hat.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what kill you're talking about.
Yeah, that one is awesome. There are a lot of good kills throughout this movie. But my favorite thing about Mortal Kombat, and also similar to like Injustice, because it's made by the same company, the breakdowns of like when people are getting the shit beat out of them, and like you can see them like kind of falling apart, getting like bloodier and bloodier. I missed that. And a good example was actually the Raid 1 and the Raid 2. When people are fighting, they're taking damage. You can clearly see it. They're getting cut up. They're getting beat up. It looks, bones breaking, which like it happens, but these characters will just immediately fix it. I wish they kind of went more with that gritty style of like really seeing like the impact of the contact, like really seeing them like fall apart over time. But I mean, for the most part, like I said before, the choreography is really good. The fighting is really good. I wish we got a little bit more of Sonata and Talsim, because yes, Sub-Zero's in the movie, but he tends to kind of be in the background, kind of menacing, and then he'll show up and do something awesome. Or like Scorpion, who's not really in the movie that much, but whatever. When he shows up, it's spirit. Great. He's there in spirit. Yeah, he pops up
in the fires of hell.
Yeah. Also, I want to talk about Cabal. This is like a little nitpick for me. He's the same guy who played the guy who voiced him is the same guy who played Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. He voices him, and why did he sound like he was like some like shitty New York dude? Yeah, that fucking Kano. Yeah, I hate that guy. Like,
the guy in the mask?
In the mask, yeah. His voice really bothered me. Yeah, you piece of shit asshole. I can go talk to him. I just thought it was really funny, but I'm like, really? This is what we went with? Couldn't get something more menacing? Whatever. Anyway, what's your final thoughts on this movie, Luke?
Yeah, so Mortal Kombat certainly puts the brutal in brutality.
Yeah.
But it also puts the calm in come on. And that's a better written joke than it is a sound joke, because combat is spelled incorrectly.
Which I do like that they brought that up.
They do. There's another self-referential humor. That was okay. But this bland origin story, it may quench the palate of like those diehards who've been waiting decades for a new movie, but it hardly does any favors for me as a prospective fan. The choreography is impressive only at times. Some of the CGI is dodgy, and the story is an absolute mess. So much of this movie is spent on the build-up that the end result never feels finished. So much so that I don't know if I watched Mortal Kombat or if I just watched an extended prequel. But I guess in terms of capturing the aesthetic or the general feel of the game, where over-the-top violence is the main event and a coherent story is a mere side character, this movie does that. I'm giving this 2.5 out of 5.
All right. And for me, this movie knows why you showed up. It gives you a good amount of what you want. It's entertaining. It's an entertaining bloody ride with a lot of F-bombs and a lot of death. Some of the characters feel wooden, especially Cole Young.
I mean, your main character.
Your main character. But the movie did get me excited to see where the series will go next. I think that Kano was a very great addition. I think Joe Lawson is definitely going to be somebody to look out for. I think this movie's going to put him on the map a bit. And I also think that Hiroyuki Sanada and Joe Towson, when they show up, are fantastic in the roles that they're given. So, yeah, I thought this movie was entertaining. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, meh.
Yeah.
No. Thank God we talk about something good.